Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Open Cheeze. I am Iowa Joe. That is Brian Rago. We are here to do a post game recap of today's shit show, which was the Cardinals versus the Green Bay Packers. The Packers did pull out the win. You could probably say it was a last minute win because if it wasn't for some heroics on defense there towards the end, who knows what this final score would have been, but it was 27-23. Packers take it over the Cardinals. Brian, what are your thoughts of today's game?
I think after seeing the kicker kick a franchise record 61-yard field goal, I think we gotta trade him for a CB1, a true CB1, or a first round draft pick. Because I'm so sick and tired of seeing Hobbs and Nixon getting scorched.
See, we kind of had this talk in our draft chat that uh, Quano and I are part of. That uh, we understood, and we've been harping on this all season, all off season. Yes, we understood getting rid of Jair, injuries, money, blah blah blah, whatever. But they didn't replace him. Yeah, they brought in
Right.
Hobbs. Yeah, they had Nixon. Yeah, they had Carrington, but they didn't replace Jair. Now, hindsight 2020, Jair's not playing great if he's ever playing with the Ravens right now, but there's nobody that took his spot. It was hopefully going to be Jair and Hobbs, not Hobbs and Nixon, and now who knows what's going to happen. True North chiming in, yeah, don't take them lightly, I know. And then Bo Melton time next week, and I'm to the point where you might as well.
Right. Yeah.
Is he going to be any worse?
Um. No, I mean, and you said we didn't replace Jair. Well, in a way, at least we have people that are on the field playing. You know. But at the point
But
where
are
the
they actually
production,
playing?
huh?
Are they actually
Well,
playing?
I mean, it's like, God damn it! You leave McBride wide open, going across the middle on goal line, or within the 10 yard, from 10 yards to the end zone, and then Hobbs, you have him squared up, and you don't even wrap up on him. You try to truck him, wrap up on him, get
Well,
him
we've had
down.
that with a few of the players so far that there was no wrap up mentality with them, and they were still swarming the ball, but who knows what the hell was going on with that. But just to get back to what True North was saying with the Bo Melton time next week, you might as well. I
Right.
mean, what's it going to hurt? He's going to give up yardage? Well, hell, we got that with Nixon and Hobbs right now. He's going to give up touchdowns? We got that with Nixon and Hobbs right now. I couldn't tell. Did they get Carrington into the game at all?
I didn't see him.
I couldn't tell either. So that's kind of boggling there a little bit too, because at least switch something up. Get somebody, rotate these guys in and out like you do your friggin' offensive linemen. That's the one thing about the Packers that I haven't understood. They want to rotate in and out their defensive linemen. They want to rotate in and out their offensive linemen, but they won't do that with other players. They won't rotate in and out their cornerbacks. They won't rotate in and out their safeties. They just stick with the same group and scheme it to how they. I don't understand the scheme. It's a soft zone coverage and it's not working.
Maybe something happened behind closed doors with Valentine. Who knows? You
It
know,
could, but
it's just
you'd think we would have got at least a little bit something from the beat writers when there's a quote unquote suspension detrimental. Because look at what happened with Romeo last year. That was the big talk that you know Romeo suspended because of stuff detrimental to the team or whatever it was. But
besides the
anyway,
first two games, I think our front seven played a hell of a game. We're getting penetration on the line. Rashawn Gary had a huge strip sack. Parsons had a few sacks.
Three.
Wooden was getting in there. I
Yeah.
mean, Quay Walker was everywhere. I mean, it's what we expect out of them. It's what we pay them for, and they're doing their job. I mean,
They were, you could tell that they were missing a little bit of Van Ness and a little bit of Devontae Wyatt, especially when it came to the run game. They let uh, Bam Knight, who is like their friggin' fourth string running back, get up over 57 yards, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're a team that is top five in run defense, that's a pretty solid amount. Uh, so I think they were missing that a little bit, but yeah, other than that, the front seven looked good. It was just they couldn't get off the field because of friggin' their secondary wasn't helping out any. Yeah, he True North. Brian kind of makes
third and 14 to give up a 37-yard pass. How? You know,
soft coverage.
we gotta
Uh,
get Preston,
the
gotta get Preston Smith up there playing cornerback for goodness sakes. You know.
well, you had the one touchdown to McBride where you had Edrin was it was a zone coverage scheme, and Edrin kind of let off, and I think it was Nixon was in the end zone, didn't come up and play the ball. He just let the play
Yeah.
happen. So I don't. It, if these guys don't know how to play zone, then don't play zone. Play man. At least in their small sample size, their man coverage has been way better than their zone coverage. But if it's me, if I'm GM this week, we do nothing but scour the practice squad, scour whatever to look for a corner to come in like a Razul Douglas did. I don't think it's going to happen via trade just because they're already low on picks after the Kennard trade and the Micah Parsons trade, so I don't see it happening like that. So it's going to have to be a practice squad acquisition, somebody else's practice squad or a street free agent of some kind. But if I'm Goody, I'm bringing in everybody that I know of to work out just to see if I can find somebody that can cover better than what we've got. But anyway, you'd think we were talking about a loss the way we're going right now. So, but it's not going to get much better on the conversation after this point because now you look at the offense, and the offense struggled. Yeah, they did finally put up some points. Yeah, they had some moments here or there, but when we needed them to drive down the field to take time off the clock or put up some points, they weren't there. Now, last minute, yeah, they finally put something together, but what did you think of the offense today?
Um, couple of I mean, it's frustrating to watch Jordan trying to throwing the ball to the ground at the feet of the receiver. I liked how Tucker Kraft got the run, the yardage after catches. Um, Romeo Dobbs was solid. Josh Jacobs ran pretty good. That stupid play on third down and short where they did the under center, the freaking sweep or whatever it was of the running back to the outside where he lost a yard. Then they came on for a field goal. Then they called a timeout, and then they came back on and got it on fourth down to the conversion. Tucker Kraft. I mean, this the sequences in this play calling is just mind-boggling. It's like you're on their side of the field. There's like you have a 2-minute warning coming up. You have 2 timeouts, and you call a timeout. It's just you bring on the field goal unit, then you call a timeout. You bring on. I mean, it's just like what is going on? You don't have this. You don't have like a coach like thinking like 3 or 4 steps. What if this doesn't happen and this doesn't happen? Whatever. But no, I think the offense played obviously good enough to win. They came down and drove and scored the winning touchdown. I mean, defense held up. I mean, like you said, you would think we lost how much we're complaining about or how much negativity we're talking about, but they won. But this is against a team that lost 4 straight, and this isn't going to happen against a team like let's say like maybe like a Lions team or a Bears team. I mean, I don't know. It's something's got to There's got to be more urgency. It's you can't be so predictable on offense.
Well, to True North saying I can't complain too much about a road victory down south, do better MLF. Well, that's the bit. That's the part right there is the do better Matt LaFleur because, like you said, some of the sequencing was just off. Like on one of the drives where it was like 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2, they do a handoff up the middle or a pitch to the outside and it goes nowhere. So they go up for it on 4th down, and they do an end zone shot to Romeo Dobbs. Now Dobbs was open, it just Jordan missed him, but that should have been the 3rd down play. That shouldn't have been a 4th down play when you're only going for needing 2 yards. You could
Yeah,
have easily did a Tucker, hit Tucker for a couple of yards. Then you can reset your downs. Then you can, uh, uh, take your shots or whatever. But the sequencing was really weird. And as for a road victory, the way it was sounding coming off my TV, it wasn't much of a road game because I was hearing more Packer chants and Packer cheers than I was anything for the Cardinals. Um, so the big one of the big stories, Josh Jacobs came out. He was, again, he's still kind of under the weather, but he was dealing with a calf injury. He was able to come out and put up 55 yards, averaging 4.2, and had 2 touchdowns on the day. Uh, I said it, and I know it's not going to go anywhere because we don't have that kind of power, but a true MVP is somebody who you can rely on, who is a game changer and everything else. And if I was in the NFL and I had to give the trophy out to somebody for MVP, it would be Josh Jacobs because that's the type of guy he is the guy that you lean on, the guy that gets it when you need it, and he's basically the face of the team.
yeah. I honestly, I think so. I think that might seem small, but I think a good turning point in the game was right before halftime. They scored. We got the ball, one pass to the whatever 44-yard line, whatever it was. 61-yard field goal before halftime to come within a touchdown. You get the ball back at halftime, and you tie. You tie. I mean, that was huge. I think it was
Yeah.
huge to a guy who's in his second week with the team. I mean, that you can't coach that, really. You know what I'm saying? Jordan Love for having Jordan Love for having the poise to get hit Romeo Dobbs, or I think it was Dobbs that he hit down the middle, and to call the timeout and then get the kicker out there and score before halftime. I think was huge.
It was, and the one thing uh, that was going around when Havrisk was signed was that he wasn't the most accurate kicker in the world, that he missed a lot in college. He struggled in his limited times when he was, ever since he came out of college, whether it be in like the UFL, XFL, whatever it was he was part of. But to see the success he's having, I even said it on socials that are we going to have like a mid-season kickers competition and because what do you do with this kid once McManus is back healthy? Do you release him? Do you hang on to
No,
him? What do you do with him? Because
he
I
traded for
mean,
a true cornerback number one.
well, unfortunately that kind of shit doesn't happen in the NFL. But I mean, realistically, do you hope that you can release him and bring him back to the practice squad in case you need him later in the season, or do you just hang on to him because you really don't need a roster spot at the moment? And we don't know the severity of what McManus's injury is. We know it's a quad issue, but it's not severe enough that they've put him on injured reserve. So I don't know, but if this kid keeps going the way he's going, what do you do? Because you just re-signed McManus for 3 years. You've got this kid who now holds the franchise record for longest kick. Do you just like say, screw it. Thanks for your help. You got your paycheck. Go. So get out of here, kid. You're bothering me, or
Yeah.
what?
I'll put on all dark sweats and I'll go find him and take him out.
Tanya Harding McManus.
No. Hey, honestly, if you get McManus back at 100%, why wouldn't you field like a trade for like a seventh round draft pick? I mean, why not? At least try to get something for him.
It's possible, but you know, it depends. I think the True North may know a little bit better than I do right now. I'd have to look it up, but uh, trade deadline I think is coming up within the next 2 weeks or so. So who knows it again without knowing what McManus's time frame is. If I want to say
No,
it's usually
November 4th.
November 4th, so you got about just under 3 weeks. So depending on what McManus's time frame is on when he's back, you could theoretically move him for something, but that's if another team's willing to give up something for him. Because
Right.
again, you know, do teams just sit back and say, okay, well, the Packers are going to release him anyway because they've got McManus there, so we're just going to wait until he's released and then we'll claim him? Or do they say, well, we don't want to take chances on it, we'll send this over to you in trade?
You fire Bisaccia and you hire him as your fucking special teams coordinator. You
I
probably
mean,
be making more money.
yeah, that's possible too, but I don't know. It's going to be an interesting situation going forward with the. And
Yeah.
who would have thought we'd be that point of the season that it's like we have a kicking competition?
Yeah, right. I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's yeah, I mean, what do you do? I mean, there's plenty of options, I guess. See what happens when the time comes. Maybe there's already been talk for trades for him. Who knows? I mean, you don't know. I mean,
Well, yeah, nobody knows anything, but it's hard to field trade offers for a guy when you don't know when your regular kicker is going to be back. So that's going to be the thing is this next week if McManus is back practicing, then that'll tell you a little bit more. But so let's talk about the man of the hour, Micah Parsons. Uh, 3 sacks. He had. Let's see if this site will give me. Oh, where you at? Where you at? There's Micah. He had 5 QB hits with 3 sacks and 4 tackles for a loss. I have to say this is probably the best game he's had as a Packer so far.
yeah,
I mean, he's been disruptive, but this has been his most productive game in the green and gold since the trade at late August, early September. And we knew this was the type of player he is, but we also know the kind of shit he's been going through with getting held and chipped and everything else. So, with that being said, I'm going to put this out there. And again, we've got like a handful of people watching, so it's not going to go that far. But I find it kind of funny that Micah comes out and speaks out against the calls that are being made by officiating, a couple days before the game, and then all of a sudden in the game, all these penalties fall down on the Green Bay Packers. I just kind of find that interesting.
yeah. And then they call off sides on the Packers offense. That was the kicker right there. I was like, are you kidding me? But you can't call it on the tush push. You know,
Right.
I mean, come on.
So here's how it rounded out. The Cardinals were called for 6 penalties for 55 yards. The Packers were called for 10 penalties for 94 yards. Now, I'm not saying that the Packers are innocent by any means and that all the penalties were, but there was a lot of ticky-tacky calls going on that it's awful suspicious that 1 minute you have your superstar player saying something about the officiating and the next game you're having a lot of these ticky-tacky calls going on. So I would just keep that in mind going forward with these next few games to see how that's going to progress. But anyway, Micah Parsons, A-plus game, really brought it. Should have had more sacks than what he did, but again was getting held on a couple of spots that didn't get called. Uh, I, I like I said, I think this is probably his best game in the green and gold uniform.
Well,
So
definitely, I think it is by far. I mean, he had a lot of the pressures. He had clear path to the quarterback. A couple plays where he got around that corner, you could see somebody was holding on to his left arm, holding him back. If they wouldn't have held on to that, there was one completion that was a huge completion for the Cardinals that had Parsons had not been held, Brissett would have been sacked.
yeah,
It's just that just drives me up the freaking wall. It's like you have like 6 officials out there and you can't call that. I mean, come on, really? It's
or
just
they
mind boggling. Like,
refuse
what are
to
you
call
watching?
right. That's where what I was kind of getting at is they were kind of refusing to call certain penalties on during certain times, but yet they had no problems when it was against a Packer. But
You
you
want to know
know,
what? You go back to him complaining about the officiating or talking about the officiating this last week in press conferences. He's like, you have teams that line up offsides on offense, but you don't call offsides. Well, when's the last time the Packers got called for offsides on offense?
I couldn't tell you.
And
It's
all of a
been
sudden we got it
yeah,
today. It's like you can call that, but you can't call it tush push. I mean, it's just something. I mean, whatever. It is what it is. It's the Slavic Thunder. Yes.
yeah, that would be a good one. Coming up with nicknames on Open Cheese. Uh, I'll tell you what, True North. We'll start calling him the Slavic Thunder if you uh, endorse me calling Whelan the Celtic Cannon.
Yeah.
um, but another kid that I was solid but kind of disappeared in the second half, which kind of really bugged me, was Matthew Golden. Golden was basically catching everything thrown to him and was making plays, and then he just kind of disappeared. So I don't know if Jordan was just not throwing, seeing where he was at. I know he did kind of take a hit there for a minute, but I
Yeah.
I don't know what the issue was there, but I really think that given the shot, he's going to come out as the true number one by the end of the season.
Golden?
Yeah,
I mean, I could see that happening because once you get back Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, and you got Dubs out there, it's only going to open up Golden's chances by a million. You know what I'm saying? It's
yeah.
that I don't think I can. Though I mean, the last time I can think of a receiving core like this for the Packers, you have Jordy, Devontae, maybe like a Donald Driver and like a Greg Jennings all lined up. I mean, that's like what this could
Well, it
be
was
for the
probably
Packers.
the last time we were this deep with wide receivers was the Sports Illustrated cover with Jennings, Jordy, Randall, Jermichael Finley,
Yeah,
and I think it was a Driver. I got it in my safe. I'd have to dig it out.
yeah,
Um, but and that's the truth. I do think, and I've said this on the pod a couple of different times, that I think Reed and Watson are the odd men out. I think they did right about Watson with giving him another year on his contract just to give him, next year to audition for whatever. But if the rumors are true that they are doing contract talks with Dobbs, then I think Watson and Reed are the odd men out, and it's going to be a Dobbs, Golden, Wicks trio going forward. And True North, uh, finding Morgan's spot. If you've listened to us since last year, and I know you have because you listen to almost all Packer podcasts. But if you listen to a lot of the people that we talk with about draft stuff, we all knew Morgan was going to be more of a guard than he was any kind of tackle. That's why the talk of him taking Rasheed Walker's spot was really weird because I don't think Morgan is going to handle up as a tackle more than he is a guard. But if we can solidify not rotating in and out offensive linemen, and Morgan can be that guy at the right guard, then I say go for it. But that means they've got to lock up Rasheed Walker on the left tackle, because if not, then we got a hole on the left tackle. So, and I don't think Zach Tom can take the tackle spot.
They should put Christian Watson in that corner.
I don't think his body would hold up.
I just they got to do something, man. They need to do something for that cornerback. Crazy.
I know they've got Hayden still, and I can't think of the guy that's on the practice squad right now, but I would. This whole next week would be nothing but bringing in corners as workouts, just to see if we can't find a Rasul Douglas type acquisition to bring in and say, yeah, that's us. Elton Jenkins at corner, yeah, that would couldn't be any worse. So, all right, well, we're getting close to that half hour mark, which we try to stick around there. So, unless anybody else has got questions in our comment section, drop them there. Brian, who are you gonna? I think this answer is going to be obvious, but who are you going to give the MVP, head cheese, whatever you want to call it, to?
Parsons.
I think that's no doubt. There's no doubt about that. You got to give it to him just because of what he did, and without him, who knows what this game would have been. I don't think Rashawn would have had the game he had. I think Quay would have still been able to play as well as he did, and Edge do as well as he did, because that's the type of players they are. But this game would be completely different without a Micah Parsons out there on the team or on the edge. So
yeah, like offense at goal. I know, like, overall, I think it's Micah Parsons, obviously, because he earned that $47 million, whatever it was tonight. But I think offense, I would go with Tucker Kraft. Had some big catches.
Tucker was basically the offense there for the longest time,
and then Josh Jacobs with good hard running, being consistent, and special teams obviously goes to whatever his name is, Slavic Hammer or whatever. Slavic Hammer.
Slavic Thunder.
But, yeah, it's just the coaching needs to work on whatever the hell they're doing, because you could coach better by doing Ask Madden on PS4. It's just driving me nuts. So
yeah, that's something that Mike and I have talked about for the longest time, but it's hard to put it. If you wanted to break it down by teams, it's hard to put one in for offense just because it was kind of made a day. If you want to kind of consider him offense, then I would say Haveris, just because he has come in and played that well. And without him, who knows what the scoreboard would have looked like but yeah, I think overall Micah Parsons. But anyway, we're going to close out here. You can find the pod at Ohana_Packers on Twitter, Ohana Packers Edition on Facebook, Instagram. I think that's about it. I think it's Open Network over on Twitch if you don't want to watch it on YouTube. We do stream to Instagram too, so you can get us over there. If we hit 100 followers on Facebook, we can start streaming to Facebook. So even if you don't want to watch on Facebook, go over and just follow us for the hell of it. That way we can hit our number. If you want to support the show at all, make sure you like and subscribe wherever you're watching. Drop us some comments. Let us know what you want us to hear, or what you want us to say. Not hear, because I don't hear that well anyway. So
what?
Exactly. If you want us to bring on guests, whatever, drop them in the comments and let us know. Also, if you want to support the pod, we do have a merch shop up. It is ope-shop.fourthwall.com. I think I do have a banner on it. Nope, I don't have the banner anymore. So I'll have to put that up somewhere else. But anyway, it's ope-shop.fourthwall, and fourth is spelled out FOURTH wall.com. And I even got me my Soul Reaper t-shirt. I think it came out pretty damn good. Go over and get you that. We have all kinds of other stuff over there. I'm working on shit all the time. If you've got something that you'd like me to put up over there that you think would be help support the show, you can always shoot me a message, whatever. But you can find Brian with his Cheeze Talk pod. He streams whenever the hell he feels like streaming. You can find him on Twitter, and I think you're on Instagram and all that good stuff too. Brian, any final thoughts before we end her?
I hope Aaron Rodgers plays good enough next weekend because we play the Steelers next, right? Pittsburgh
Steelers next week. Yep.
So I hope we play them good enough to beat them, but I hope they don't cripple Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
So I want to see him do good, but I want to see the Packers do better. Obviously,
Well, I don't want to see him play good. I always say. You can play good.
By good, I mean not getting hurt, Just him being healthy after the game.
Just kind of a show note, because that just reminded me, because it is the late night game next week. It'll be me and Kawano going live for the post game / our Monday episode of Ohana Packers Edition. So make sure you tune in on that. Like I said, like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss, and turn on your notifications. That way you don't miss when we do go live, when Brian goes live, when who knows goes live. Maybe I'll just start doing those one of those things that they do during Christmas, where it's like the fireplace, and it's like for 24 hours it's the fireplace and the mantle and all that, the ambiance, and just have that stream for like 24 hours or whatever. Or let's do this. If we can get 100 thumbs up, Brian will do a 24-hour stream.
Okay, I'll do it.
If we
hold on. What day though?
We got to make sure we get 100 thumbs up, and then we'll schedule a 24-hour stream.
Hey, if we get 100 thumbs up, I'll eat a whole block of Carolina or ghost pepper cheese live.
On a 24-hour stream.
No, I'll eat it like in front of the camera and be live doing it.
But anyway, make sure you hit 100 thumbs up. We'll discuss what happens one way or the other. But as Mike would say it, go Pack go, and aloha.
Go Pack go.